sometimes you gotta go for it, haven't you? You gotta go for it. I mean, so obviously he levels Karma up right now. The stuns, there's so many things that he's got that cause us problems. But sometimes you gotta go bold. You gotta go bold, big and bold, big and bold. Go, beardy men! Right, so he's trying. Oh my god, what's he gonna? I can't even remember what I've used. Hello, Gomez here for the LAN Up channel again with another deck for you today. This time I have gone a little bit insane. I have made another Marauder deck, but this time with P&Z. Let's get into this. So as I said, this is another Marauder deck. Last one that I made, I will probably put a link up above because I still think it's a really good deck, is the Shadow Isles Marauder deck, which definitely has got a lot of different, like a lot of good features, right? Because its whole idea is it doesn't matter if the Marauders die because they come back ephemerally, they come back in different ways through harrowing, and there's loads of different cards in there that work. But I really wanted to try Marauders in P&Z again because of the new edition of this card. It made me just go, you know what? Let's give it another go and see how we can make Marauders work, because the whole thing with Marauders is that once it attacks, it grants every Marauder everywhere +1/+1, and so the more copies that you can have, the better. The reason why this deck, because obviously the idea is you want to make counterfeit copies of them, the reason why this deck didn't work out too good in the beginning was because the fact that although you can make counterfeit copies of them and make loads of them, you need to draw into them. The most important thing is drawing into them, and it's quite hard to do. And so the good thing about having two spells, so Blood for Blood and which is Improvement, this legitimately for 2 cost gives you those copies in hand immediately, and that's actually quite important. Bearing in mind that obviously Blood for Blood before, which was the only option, there wasn't this burst speed option. So Blood for Blood is fast speed, so if you tried to make a copy of it, all they had to do was pick that off with damage, and you didn't get that copy back in hand, and so you would just relying on draw, whereas this gives you a few different options. That's why I thought it was worth exploring again. Counterfeit copies actually has a few uses in this deck, depending on what the situation is, because obviously, depending on what you draw, what you're up against, and everything, it can come in handy in different ways. So number 1 is obviously to make copies of the Marauder. Number 2 is actually to make copies of Tri-Beam, because the idea here is we're actually running a lot of different free costs, and because we're running a lot of different free costs, once you level Tri-Beam up to like 6 or 7, if you make a counterfeit copies, if you draw one of those copies, it's already at that 6 or 7 mark, so it just helps that with good removal and also putting things on the board, so that's why it's a consideration. The other consideration is Vi. Now, why is Vi a consideration? Vi is a consideration because I found this out in Expedition, but if you get her up to 10 in hand, which is +8 because she starts with 2 attack, if you get her up to 10 in hand and then make a counterfeit copy of her in your hand, if you then put her on the board, attack forward, and she levels up, those counterfeit copies of Vi actually have 18 damage because counterfeit copies makes an exact copy of the card in your hand. She's actually got a +8 buff when she's at that point of 10. So she goes up to 10 damage, but then you also get that +8 on top of her, so she actually goes up to 18. So if she dies, then you can play her again if you get one of the counterfeit copies of her, and it is 18 damage. And I just thought that was too funny to pass up. That's the reason why we're running Might. We're running Might so that we can help with the Marauder, but also for the comedy version of getting Might on top of Vi, so that she'll be doing 21 damage Overwhelm, which obviously is that there's not many things that can stand up to that, as well as the fact that she does 5 damage into the core anyway on strike if you were to challenge something. So it was worthwhile putting in there just for the banter more than anything else, but that does actually work and something to consider. So Tri-Beam's your removal. I've explained counterfeit copies. We've got a lot of discard with draw, but I think that draw is important, especially if you start getting counterfeit copies on top of the Marauder. It's very important to have that as an option, to have all these draws. So we've got like the Dredger, we've got the Urchin, and we've got all these discard. Jerry, I love a Jerry. I did consider putting 3 Jerrys in, but sadly, the deck, you only can put 40 cards in, and there was other things I wanted to put in. I've put 2 Dravens in. Now, there's definitely a consideration for actually removing Katrina disappearing totally and just putting in 3 Dravens. Reason why 3 Dravens is good is because the axes not only work on Vi really well to help level her up, because it obviously every axe that you put on her counts as 2, because if she's out on the board, not in your hand, I mean, like the axe plays as 1, and then you put it on top of her, and that actually goes up for 2 if you need it. But also it works really well with survival skills. I put survival skills in this deck because it can help keep Vi alive, and it can help keep your Marauders alive, depending on obviously who's the biggest on the board at the time, and then obviously the discarding means that they can't go beneath 1 health. It only works for damage attacks. I think that Vengeance and Obliterates and things like that will still get rid of them, so it's something to consider. But it's definitely, because there's a lot of like different removal spells, it was worthwhile just putting in for a laugh. I put Katrina in here for the late game of once you get loads of Marauders on the board, if you can have a leveled up Katrina which rallies, then you can go forward for another attack again and just wipe your opponent's board, and then just go forward again with devastating damage. And so it's more for the late game, but you definitely, it's not something that's necessary. You can definitely take the Katrina out of this deck and just put in Draven. Like there's no, I put more in for the memes, I'm not gonna lie. Don't let your memes be dreams. Might, as I said, works with Marauder, works with Vi. I put in 2 copies of Scorched Earth because I wanted to have some landmark removal. A lot of landmarks going out at this moment in time, as well as the fact that obviously this can work on damaged units. It is a fast speed spell, which is why I kind of put it in over Aftershock. The other reason I put it in over Aftershock is because obviously it works with the Triad Beam, whereas Aftershock wouldn't, because it costs 4. So that's the reasons why this is. I did consider running 3, but I decided against it because there was other things I wanted. But you could totally get rid of a Dredger and put in 3 Scorched Earths if needed, because there is actually a number of other draw mechanics. So obviously Static works with draw, as well as a bit of target with Triad Beam, and then, as I said, survival skills, and then 1 progress day just in there, just because I like a progress day. Plus it gets down the cost of the Marauders, it gets down the cost of things by 1. So I do enjoy it. But there, yet again, progress day you could easily remove to put in another Static, or as I said, remove to put in another Scorched, because there is actually a lot of draw in this deck already. It's just that I feel that if you're going to be making counterfeit copies of your Marauders, you need significant draw. But that is just my take on this deck. As I said, I still think that the Shadow Isles one is really good. I probably said it already, but in case I didn't, I will try and put the little thing of my past deck up there. So if you want to check that out, because I do still think that it's actually a really funny, strong deck. Whether or not there's any changes that can be made to it now, the new cards, because this was before the cards got added. But definitely fun and games. Please let me know, which is so shameless plug time, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I do stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So if you want to come catch the madness and craziness live, please feel free to. As well as the fact there is the Discord link down below if you wish to join the Discord and have a good time in there. I'm always around, like if you want to chat and things like that. So please hit me up if needed, and I'll get back to you. I mean, I'm quite busy at the moment with all these things, but I'll do my best to get back in text form to anything that you put on there, as well as the fact that obviously I get back to your comments. So if there's any comments that you have about this deck or anything like that, please feel free to leave them below. If you run this deck, let me know. But all that's left to say is let's get in and see how this deck does in a couple of matchups. Okay, so Reforge, a bit of rally synergy with Katrina, obviously, to then get their token back again to work there, and obviously to rally to help attack forward again with Darius. So I can see, and so you're, and they're working with Demacia. Okay, right. I'm going to keep Beam. We've got a Marauder in hand, and we've immediately got it. I mean, that's a nice thing to have, but. Oh, and Blood for Blood. I mean, all the copies of the Beardy Man. I love it. Come on, Axie Beardy Man.
I'm actually here.
I'm gonna leave this. We kind of need to keep Beam back for like actually any of those champions. We could throw Jerry out. But we know for a fact there's a lot of discard in this deck. And so I kind of want to be safe in that for Urgent Dredger, Rummage. Like I mean, consider the fact that we've only got 2 Jerrys as well. It's very important to remember that we've only got 2 Jerrys. Now, yet again, I said we can make a quick copy of this through, but so if he does, see, that's what I mean. So he's stunning so that he can't attack forward. A big part of me kind of wants to see what our opponent does, whether or not they try to go for, because they could all have Ravenous Flock. So I just want to see whether or not they use it or not, because we do actually have, like, you know, both ways of making copies. There we go. There's an Urchin, which just makes me feel a little bit better about playing the Jerry Rig, so that we get a little bit of draw off of this. So, oh, there's Landmark. Okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So, immediately doing this mainly so that we've got defense, bearing in mind that obviously we're starting to level Vi up as well. So, immediate whoop, whoop. Just because that just makes so much sense, as well as the fact that that now puts her into static range, so it's okay. So what we can do here is we can so I'm gonna go with see, the thing is, do I go right, I'm gonna go blood for blood. My reason for this is that if he hasn't got a counter in terms of or if he has got a counter in terms of single combat, there we go. If he has got a thing, then I can still actually. The whole point of this was actually so that I could play play the Marauder onto the board, but that move was just too good not to go for, because then we get more copies, because we still got the blood for blood copy, but we can still get another copy as well coming off of the so it just felt too good not to do. Felt too good not to do. We could actually just remove the landmark as well as an important thing. So there we go. They both buff each other up. So this is actually, no matter which one, that's fine. You know what? Take him. Take him. I mean, we can make a copy of him. Oh, of course he puts down a prismatic barrier. Of course he puts down a prismatic barrier. I'm gonna actually make, I might end up regretting this fact, because basically I could have saved the mana so that next turn we definitely score, because that needs to be removed. Our opponent is running out of resource. This is very important to remember that the two regions, Demacia and Noxus, don't have much draw. It's very important to remember that fact. So what we can do is we could very easily so the thing is, like, I feel like we remove the landmark, we just get that out of the way. We could actually, so here's the thing, right? We could make the counterfeit copies of the Marauder, or we could make the counterfeit copies of Vi at this, like, we're getting to the point now where we could actually make the counterfeit copies of Vi, and that would actually be viable. But it's one of those things where you'd have to make sure that you level her first. So here's the thing: we can still throw this out. Actually, a big part of me is like, do I just kill the Katrina right now? As much as me is thinking like, oh yeah, throw that out, because I mean, let's face it, he's gonna be grabbing this with this because he wants to kill my Marauder, which makes a lot of sense. But I'm actually, oh shit, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the burst speed. We're gonna make the copies of the Marauders because it's the main, but I mean, as much of the banter that is, the purpose of this deck is Marauder, so I'm going to just do that, make the copies of my old widget Marauders, kill the Katrina so that we're trying to stop that ability of rally. He then grabs this here, but we don't mind because we've got another one in hand, and then we're hopefully going to be drawing into more Marauders. The plan here now is we've put our counterfeit copies in there. Our opponent is slowly but surely starting to run out of their resources right now, so we're gonna capitalize. That's the plan, right? The plan is to capitalize on the fact that we could actually even technically play Vi. This turn we could play Vi. We could even throw Might on top of Vi if we really wanted to. Or we could throw two Mights on top of Vi. If I could throw, I mean, I can't actually throw Might on top of Vi with this. If I could throw this out and throw Vi out, I mean, it was one mana away from being able to do that. But I feel like I just want to, because I know that I've got copies of them in the deck, and I know that I've got so many copies of them in the deck, I honestly want to be getting their attack up. Like, that is the most important thing to me right now, is to make sure I'm getting their attack up. So, sod it. We're going big. We're going big to get our opponent down to 7. Whoop. Go with that there. He could go with an open attack, but he's only doing 2 damage, so we don't really mind. Oh, that's what I'm talking about! Right, so I'm gonna throw the Marauder out. Gonna throw the Marauder out, knowing the fact that we could throw Vi, or we do actually have a static. We do actually have a static shock move, which isn't bad. Static shock is not bad because it gives us the ability to draw as well. So the ability to draw and potentially draw into another Marauder is where the comedy comes in. We do actually have might. Oh, there we go. So forcing a move like that out of our opponent, because obviously they were going to do that to try and kill the Marauder. I assume that's what the plan was there, was to kill my Marauder through doing that move. That's fine. I don't mind that because we've got 2 might. So we throw. Have we got the man to throw Vi out and still use 2? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ballsy moves right now. He wanted to make sure that he wanted to make sure that's done. He wanted to make sure the big beardy, the big beardy Axemen come back. Right. Gonna throw Vi out. We actually would have had the mana to throw Vi out and use 2 mights if we had that. I mean, we could still actually throw the Marauder out, right? We actually could still throw the Marauder out again, just because they've got the ability of might, so why not? Sod it. I mean, it can go either way. I mean, you can throw all those bollocks on as much as you want, my friend. But at the end of the day, is it going to save your life? Is it going to... Big beardy man! Well played, though. Well played. Okay, so this is that new... It's like Zoe, what you mean? So that's that new kind of like Zoe Karma deck, which is all about obviously getting Karma leveled and then getting like all of those spells and things that you can get off of Zoe, just like happening twice and things. Like I know where this is going. It's gonna most likely lead to my death. I don't want to keep survivors because I'm probably gonna keep. So as much as me wants to keep it for the synergy, I'm not actually going to keep that at the moment. I'm actually going to get rid of one of my counterfeit copies just because I know that I've got one in hand, so I don't mind losing that one there. I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually know how, because he could level that Zoe so quickly, and I have got target spells, but only like certain target spells, and if I don't draw them, I don't have the mana for them, then there's not a lot I can really do about this. Like elusively, I can't really do it. I mean, I guess like I'm not really drawing what I need right now. So if I'm not drawing what I need, I'm not gonna be able to deal with the situation that's coming at me. This is where like the downside comes in. I guess elusively things can work really well. The only way that you can kind of get around that, so maybe actually multiple Dravens rather than the Katrina, just because obviously the multiple Dravens means that you get more Whirling Death, and Whirling Death is actually a really good card for if they put things forward, you can defend one of them and then throw the axe the other way to kill somebody else. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that is such a good get. Like from our opponent there, that was such a good, like, all the things there, all of the things, and we still haven't drawn the Marauder, which obviously is a big downside at the moment. The fact that we have not drawn the Marauder. He's like, he's basically like getting so close to what he wants anyway, right? Okay, we can still attack forward with Draven. Obviously, if he's finding any kind of removal in terms of like, there's nothing I can do if he's got the obliterates and things like that. There's literally nothing I can do about that. All I can do is hope that we can find a way around this. Because right now, I've got a draw, but it's a big like, you know, cost draw spell, and I've got things that can make copies, but I don't have who I want. Admittedly, at least now we've got this, which is removal as well as so the thing of it is I could go for an immediate attack, but we're in the we are in the what's his face region, like deny region. So what we want to do is we want to lower our opponent into a force sense of securita. So they should no longer. I mean, the only thing that he could get that would put a big thing on this is if he gets the spell shield, because technically he could throw the spell shield on top of her, and then I can't target her with. Right, I have to do it because because the reason I have to do it is because she's like all the way like halfway there. As much as he wants to level the tri-beam up, and admittedly, there is so many things that he could use to counter this right now in terms of that all he's got to do is get her health up. And if he's got any buff spells which do that, like Power Cascade, the shield thing which goes up by 2, like yeah, that's what I mean, like literally, there's so many different ways, but I had to go for an attempt of trying to stop her, as well as the fact that obviously this gives me a minion which I can defend myself with. Like I had to do it, I had no other choice. With the hand that I've currently got, you've sometimes got to try and go for those like crazy decisions. At least Vi is now an option to potentially deal with that problem. Not the best one, but still an option to try and deal with the Zoe problem. So he could have a the important thing to remember as well, as I said, he could have obliterate. We could actually make a copy of the sun, which is the priestess. We could make a copy of the priestess. Right, because we know for a fact that he got something. He got something from the priestess, but I don't think he used anything like that. So he could have actually got the obliterate spell, which means that Vi is actually in danger. So we're gonna leave this because I want to see what our opponent does right now. Because as I said, at this moment in time, he's in the obliterate range. He's in the obliterate range, which is scary. There's not really much that we can do other than playing. Okay, so that's what he got. So that's what he got from the other card. So he could be finding an obliterate, but this at least means that what we can do is throw Vi out, and then we've got axes, we've got might, we've got things that can get her to the point of like if he tries to buff. So we've got to go for an open attack. We've got to go for an open attack because it's our best. It's legitimately our best chance. I'm gonna keep you back actually for defensive purposes. But that is actually our best chance of trying to stop this. That's all we can do. So it's going to go like that, which is fine because we do have axes. Which we got axes. We do also have might. I might actually use might so that we're helping get this up. I don't think there's a way that I can I get her to 10. Can I get her to 10? At this moment in time, I might have to get rid of a counterfeit copies. I might have to get rid of a blood for blood, which admittedly, blood for blood, if I've got one of these, I don't mind losing that. So that would get her up to, that gets her up to 8. One more axe. So it's just like one more thing to get rid of out of this hand. I mean, I'm looking at counterfeit copies. I might legitimately have to get rid of counterfeit copies for the greater good. As much as he doesn't want to, like, I feel like for the greater good, I've got to go for it. And this means that she could level up. But just, it's more for the purpose of leveling Vi. That's literally the whole purpose of trying to do this. Because I've got no other plans. So sod it. Let's go. Of course, he still finds the level. Of course, he still gets the level. Not good. Not good. Because it's more the fact that all of those abilities from those late game Celestials, all of their like overwhelm, spell shields, all of them being given to everyone. It's not good. And also the fact that he could have the obliterates, right? He could have obliterates to get rid of it. So just need to hope we can somehow survive this. So we are having to go into a progress day move next turn. We significantly need draw. Like draw is currently our main problem right now. Like we need significant draw. We've not even drawn one of our beardy men yet. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting to the scary moment, right? It's getting to the scary moment, so we have to. Okay, right. So doesn't exactly help me now, but I mean, because immediately once the spell shield hits, if you find somebody with spell shield, it's kind of done, isn't it? Let's be honest. So he's going big. I've got nothing which targets them right now, so we're gonna go for our beardy men all show up together. Okay, so. The beardy men all show up together. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is gonna be a lot of damage which is coming at me. A lot of damage coming at me. I can defend some of it. Which is not too so I guess we defend there. Actually, I guess do we want to kill the goat? Because obviously the goat is giving him gems, which is annoying. But that's got a more annoying health stat. Or do we just kill? Do we let Draven die here for the greater good? You know what? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. Might end up regretting my decisions here. I probably will end up regretting my decisions, but these are the decisions that I've gone for. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready for nothing but pure stupidity right now? Nothing but pure stupidity. Because we could make another copy of the Beardy Men. It's the fact he's not doing anything! Right. Not gonna lie. This is I mean, because it's basically, I've basically left myself so I've got no mana to do anything else. This has become the plan. It's not a good plan. It's not a good plan because we've left out Might and we've left out the ability to Scorch Earth the goat, especially if he throws down a spell shield like thing. But, I mean, you've sometimes got to go for the stupid moves, right? There's Doggo. There's Doggo, so he's got himself draw. Right. So might as well go for the... Actually, no, what we want to do is we want to take out a Celestial, just in case he's got anything which combos with, like, I mean, because I doubt that he's got the ASO spell, but if he does have the ASO spell, I want to make sure that we're covered. So, it's all we got. Go, go, go! So...
Is this what you seek?
We will let Draven die for the greater good. We will let Draven die for the greater good. Mostly because we can't do anything to save his life. So we let Draven die. We couldn't save anyone else's life at this point. Couldn't save anyone's life, but that's fine. So we do actually have the ability to Scorched Earth the Traveller, but obviously as I said, any spell shield stuff that comes out kind of stops it. We do still keep 2 Beardy Men. We have got the ability to get rid of Draven's axes if needed to, like, for just finding options. The problem with this being at 3 means that it's Solitary Monk's in that range. Solitary Monk is within that range, and that's what makes... Right, there's Karma.
There is hope.
There's Karma, which does... Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go for Scorched Earth plan on top of this. We're trying to make him use Deny. We're trying to make our opponent use up... There we go, so Nopify. He still has the mana for Deny, which is very upsetting. The purpose is we're trying to get down his mana so that we can use Might... And then that gets you up to 5 attack, and we can kill the Karma. That's the plan. Whether or not that... Oh my god! He's keeping... He know... I think... does he know? Does he know the plan? So we could 0 mana. I feel like we've got to go for draw just to see what we can get. See what we can get on here. So... Right. So we could just go for an immediate open. Right, we could actually just go for an immediate open on our opponent. As much as he wants to use the Might plan, I honestly think that he's got a Deny. So as much as he wants to go for that plan, part of me's thinking, do we just go for the plan of trying to kill you again? He potentially has got stuns, is where my other problem lies. So then we're gonna throw it down with shit. We're gonna throw it down. I just want to go back to him and see if he does anything to that move. He probably doesn't. Okay. Not gonna lie, that's not what I needed to see. Right. So, I mean, I say that's not what I need to see. Do we just put my arm in? But this might end up being so stupid. But Because we can no longer actually use, because we use the Joe, we can no longer actually use the thing, but the ability of at least making sure that he's got less things to defend himself and then going for an open attack, grabbing Karma. I mean, obviously I said he could potentially have stuns, he could have so many different things which countered this plan, right? So many different things, but sometimes you gotta go for it, haven't you? You gotta go for it. I mean, so obviously he levels Karma up right now. The stuns, there's so many things that he's got that cause us problems. But sometimes you gotta go bold. You gotta go bold, big and bold, big and bold. Go, beardy men! Right, so he's trying. Oh my god, what's he gonna? I can't even remember what I've used. Okay, right, he's gonna find two Scorched Earths, isn't he? He's gonna find two Scorched Earths and just use the Scorched Earths on both of these guys. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Oh no, okay, so he's actually just going for a massive draw thing for trying to find his way out of the terrible situations that he's in. Okay. I mean, I honestly thought the Scorched Earth, I was expecting a Scorched Earth, like more than anything. I'm not gonna lie, that's what. Okay, so he's going significant heals, significant heals. Yeah, again, does make a lot of sense. Does make a lot of sense. So we do have. And he's still dead, even with that massive heal of 10. He's okay. Hush. Okay. Not gonna lie, that's not the best for us. That's not the best. We do. He's still on 2. Has he got another? Oh my god! Of course he's got another hush. Of course he's got another hush. Okay, so not gonna lie, not the best, but so how many times can we use this? We can use this. Actually, can we use this 4 times? Because all we need to do is use this 4 times. So. Whoop. Just in case he's got a stun, we want to split. Oh, and the fact that this is working, we're just leveling up the tri-beam as well to an unbelievable degree. I didn't even think about that synergy, but so even if this attack does not work, significant tri-beam. I mean, it doesn't matter how much he gets her health up, right? Because the 5 damage from the strike goes in regardless, and he still couldn't get her to the point of surviving. Shed him. I mean, this has worked out so well. Good day, sir. I said good day. But actually, they played really well. They played really well. It was actually a hard deck. I was not sure how I was going to do against this deck, because I do know it's actually quite a hard meta deck. But it's amazing when it works, right? Okay. I honestly thought he was going to take Scorched Earth from me, because he would have taken Scorched Earth and got that twice. He could have just removed both of those, but obviously it depends on what was in the pool. We did play a lot of spells. I mean, so this has got to be a fearsome mushroom deck, where it's just all it is about trying to get that damage in as quickly as possible. So part of me wants to keep Vi. You know what? I'm going to keep Vi in hand. I'm probably going to end up regretting that decision, but I want to keep my thermal. So if he immediately plays Teemo, then whoop, kill him. I wanted to keep Draven because he just works well against fearsome. And Big Pun kind of wants to keep Vi, but yeah, I kind of feel like, ooh, okay, right, he's not going to do anything. We leave it. We could have played the Urchin, but there's not many things I want to really get rid of out of this hand. Urchin. All of our discard stuff currently going on. We want him to play Teemo. Okay, we go forward into this move because we honestly it's very rare that he's gonna. Okay, he's gonna go for the go hard move. We could make a copy of this for draw, but I don't mind taking that. We actually have to thermal this just to stop the thing, but obviously we would have preferred to use it on two. So it's a go hard deck. So is it go hard? It's go hard with the landmark, isn't it? It's go hard with the P&Z landmark. That's what we're up against. That's what we're up against right now, is go hard P&Z landmark. Which is not the best thing to be up against. Not the best thing to be up against, but I'll take it. So, Dredger on top of the Axe. Dredger on top of that. So we know... just take the damage. Take the damage. I'd rather know that we've got the fast speed Draven coming at him. I feel like the plan here is legitimately going to be using counterfeit copies on top of Vi, because we haven't actually done that yet, and I feel like we're gonna, like, at this moment in time, with what we've drawn, it might end up actually being the most legitimate strategy, because he is planning to go hard deck. So, like, ooh, significant draw. So does he defend himself there? That's fine. You know what? That's fine. And we're getting rid of something on his side of the field. If he throws Teemo out, we've still got the beam. Go on, throw Teemo out. You know you sneakily want to. Okay, fine. So he's used 2 go hards, right? He's used 2 go hards. Vi actually doesn't survive the pack your bags at the moment. And like when she levels, she does. But at the moment, okay, right, so he's on the pack your bags move already. That was fast. Okay, so we're currently on. So I'm just trying to see what my plan of action is at the moment, because I haven't really got anything that I can copy. So I could axe something, or I could go for a draw by getting rid of his axe. Do I get rid of the other Vi as well, or do we kind of keep that? I mean, I feel like actually we're going to get rid of the progress day. The reason for that is because our hand is quite big as it is. So progress day, why are we just drawing like literally every single Vi right now? Why has that become a thing? We could actually just get rid of both the Vi's, so that when we make once we use the counterfeit copies, the only Vi's in the deck. But then again, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna regret this. I'm going to regret this, but this is the plan. Because it sounds stupid, right? It sounds unbelievably stupid, because it is. But I'm gonna do that. I feel like I just need her to I need to get the level point up, but yeah, but I'm not gonna waste a might on this. Right. He's getting rid of progress day because he knows that he's got enough draw going on anyway. So he's on the pack your bags maneuver. Is very important to remember. So what we could do is we could play Katrina and then throw the thing, and that does get her to that point where next turn we could counterfeit copies and throw her out. It's not the best move, but because obviously if he's got pack your bags, it's not the best move, but sometimes the greatest moves are the foolish ones you make along the way. Right, so here's the plan. The plan is that we're going to counterfeit copies. We're going to counterfeit copies by, thus meaning, because I mean, admittedly, he is actually also forcing us to draw, which actually means that he is getting us closer to getting that. The thing is that we need to level Vi. Like, this is, like, the main thing is that we actually technically need to level Vi, because if we don't level Vi, we are, I mean, the problem is that he could have pack your bags. This is actually a legitimate problem. There's not much we can really do about. So if I go for that move, then he just immediately, I feel like, do we just go for an open attack here? Because if he's got pack your bags, potentially the open attack is the best plan. Because although I would love to level Vi, as much as he wants to level Vi, I also know the legitimacies of the fact that she is most likely going to die to pack your bags. I kind of need pack your bags to be played. I kind of need pack your bags to be played before I do anything else. So we could throw Katrina out to try and force the pack your bags move. So if we play her again, this just means that he's now thinking, okay, right, he's immediately rallying pack your bags. Because we can, so he's now reset. That's important. It's important to remember that our opponent is now reset. He has got the ability to draw significantly, but if we play this right, because it is a slow speed, it's slow speed. So if we play this right, we might be able to do okay. Now the thing of it is that I do need to make sure that I'm getting rid of things in my hand, because otherwise my hand is just going to become too full. So, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, I haven't got anything to spin in axe. I might just have to throw this out and then throw a spinning axe on top of it. Literally just to get cards out of my hand more than anything. So I'm gonna get rid of Blood for Blood because Blood for Blood is really not gonna do anything for me right now. So might as well do that. Making sure I've got space in the hand. I mean, we can actually still attack forward. I forgot that we rallied, so we can attack forward. I mean, we immediately go into Jerry dying, but I'd rather keep the Jerry just as a defensive ploy at the moment. I mean, actually, if I would have known I was going to top deck this, I would have gone for it because it would have meant that we could have Scorched Earth. Okay. On the plus side, we've actually got a lot of discard. On the negative side, I've got a lot of cards I need to play.
From the darkness.
So we can go like that. I think I need. The thing is, we need to make sure that we're playing Vi on this turn so that we immediately go into an open. Like that's. I say that's important. Technically, he has to still play 2-pack your bags in order to get to, or like 3-pack your bags in order to get to a point where it is a problem. We've got a lot of things in our hand right now. And obviously we've got a lot of draw. We've got a lot of discard cards, but it's discard draw cards. So I feel like I'm gonna get rid of improvement. So I'm not gonna be able to. See, Vi needs 2, and I haven't really got. The only thing I've got for 2 cost is that, but that's not actually really gonna help me right now. Might end up regretting my decisions here. Because I said, like, you know, playing Vi would have been a smart plan. So I might end up regretting my decisions. Most likely will. But I'm going to go for it. Yep, there we go. So there's the pack your bags. There's the pack your bag. Sorry, not pack your bags. There's the go hard started again. So we could throw a thermal just to get rid of that, but I kind of want to see whether or not our opponent's got any more. Because if he plays all of them,
From the rich, give to me.
Okay, if he plays all of them, that's problematic. But right, so it goes back to our turn. So, not gonna lie, the problem lies with if he's got Vengeance. Vengeance is actually an amazing problem. So, what we do is we can play you first to get rid of draw, because basically draw right now is not what we need. Draw right now is kind of counterproductive, so we're gonna do that. He's used 1 pack your bags. He's still within Vengeance. He's still within Vengeance thing, and we kind of have to play Vi right now. It's very upsetting because it's not. I feel like Vengeance or Ruination does ruin this plateau. Vengeance. There it is. There's the Ruination. Even worse. Ruins the plan. Not gonna lie. The plan is significantly ruined right now. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, what I could do is I could actually Scorched Earth. Oh no, we get. Why did I not do this earlier just to get rid of one of? Like that was a smart. Why did my mind completely forget that this actually works on landmarks? Like why did my mind forget that? That was the stupidest thing that I've done because I've basically been playing into his hand. So, okay, not gonna lie, stupidity aside. Because I do apologise for anyone who's watched this going, why is he not just killing the thing? Because I'm not gonna lie, stupidity is the reason why we simply did not kill the thing. Right, so yet again, we're gonna make more copies of Vi. We are going to see if we throw her out. As I said, we kind of make her a target. It's his attack turn, so we actually need to throw something down defensively. So part of me is thinking the Marauder. Part of me is thinking throw Marauder down. Or we could actually still throw Vi down, and then obviously it still takes a lot of go hards for him to kill. No, sorry, we play the Marauder. Play the Marauder. We're playing the Marauder. We're getting a really big tribe beam going. That's our plan. Really big tribe beam going on. Really big shoe. Really big. Still within Vengeance territory. We could actually just use this tribe beam right now to kill Teemo. Then immediately next turn. See, the thing is, I really do want to play Vi because it's like my strategy, but at the same point, because once she levels, like leveling her is all we need to really do. But it's just so hard to do this. So hard to do this with like what I'm up against and knowing that there's potential vengeance. Knowing there's potential. I mean, you know what, Sonic, we're gonna do it. You know what? We're gonna lose. The potential of us losing this game is very, very high. The potential of us losing this game is unbelievably high, but sometimes you gotta go big and bold and hope. All we've got left to believe in is hope, right? All we've got left to believe in is hope. Yep. Okay, so please do not have enough. Do not have enough right now in your hand to get the pack up to pack your bags, then pack your bag. Don't you do it. Don't you do. Okay, right. Okay, right. Come on, survive, Gomez. Survive. We should have done this move earlier. Right. So we've immediately got to go. We gotta go. So we grab Teemo. We grab Teemo. So we could have actually immediately thrown the might plan on. I actually want to see what our opponent does, because as I said, vengeance is still an option. Vengeance is still an option, which is now that's interesting. So we can do that, and then I mean, admittedly, if he now does have vengeance, we're in terrible situations. But we've got to go for it. We're in a really shit situation right now. We've got mushrooms in the deck. We've got so many. This is all we've got. I think we've got through this. I think we just got. You know what? I actually thought we were going to lose the game. We did not get to see leveled up, but like that was. But you know what? It worked. At the end of the day, we still got through a go hard deck with this stupid deck. So that was the Axemen I actually realised that I've spelled everywhere wrong on this video sheet. It's supposed to be Axemen everywhere. I do apologise. I only just realised that we're looking, but it's Axemen everywhere. Really fun deck, as I said. It's more for banter than for anything else, but once it gets going, especially once those Axemen get going, or once Vi gets going, it's actually a really powerful deck. But please let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. As well as the fact that, as I've always said, like, if you run this deck, please let me know how it goes. If you make any changes to this deck, please let me know what changes you make, because it's always interesting to see what other people do with them. As well as the fact that, obviously, as I already stated at the beginning, I stream on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So if you want to come catch that action live, please feel free to. As well as the fact that if you enjoy yourself, why not consider hitting that subscribe button? I mean, only if you do not feel false. It's only if you've enjoyed it, why not hit it? But thank you for all the support that I've been getting already. Like, the support that I've been getting, the amount of subscribers that I've been getting, and that it's honestly been amazing. So thank you all so much for helping me fulfill my goals and dreams. So honestly, thank you all so much. Don't let your memes be dreams, but also until next time, bye. Flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me. That doesn't save me. Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me. Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.